Hi, my name is Mary Jo with Steinbrinks Landscaping and Greenhouses in Kearney, and today we're going to be showing you 5 steps to creating a colorful, successful patio container. The first thing you want to start with is the container itself, and it can be all different kinds of things, as a glazed pot to a wire basket with a liner in it, maybe just your standard terracotta, or interesting things like a wheelbarrow or a bird bath, or sometimes people even pot up old pairs of boots. The main thing is that you have a drainage hole in the bottom of your container, somewhere where the water can escape and the plants won't drown. The next thing you're going to be doing is choosing good quality potting soil. We use the Echo brand potting soil here at Steinbrinks Landscaping, and we feel that it has enough of the peat moss and perlite, as well as enough compost and organic matter in it, that it will help to hold the soil, the moisture in the soil, as well as give the plants enough structure that they can grow and have healthy root systems. The main thing we tell people: never ever use dirt from the ground. That's probably the biggest mistake. If someone tries to dig up some soil from the dirt from your garden area or something like that, that will never work in a container. You need to use good, high quality potting soil. Then we are going to plan on the location of your container. Is it going to be in sun, or is it going to be in shade? Is it going to be in a high wind area? Is it going to get morning sun or the hot afternoon sun? Those are things to consider when you're choosing your plants and the type of plants that you're going to be able to put in that pot. Remember, the larger the container is, the more successful you're going to be, because you're going to have more soil volume in there, and then that'll require less watering for the plants and more room for the plants to actually establish their roots and to grow. And then the fun part happens. You get to pick out your plants that you'll be using in the container. And a little trick of the trade that we use here at the Garden Center is we try to use plants with the filler, the spiller, and a thriller. And things that would be spillers, for example, would be the things that trail over your containers. This verbena here is a nice spiller, and it has a really nice little blossom on it. You could use things like trailing petunias or callies. The super bells here would be a nice spiller. Then you have things like your thrillers, which would be your diamond frost, your spring rye or asparagus fern. Even geraniums would be a filler, because they'll fill in the top of the pot. And then comes the fun part, your thriller. And thrillers can be anything. Today I chose an ornamental grass that's going to get nice and big and tall and give you some height to the container. Or it could be something like a really bold, bright color you might use. We've also put vines in containers with a neat trellis that they can grow up with, and that would be your thriller in the container. But it's more of an upright plant that is just going to be like the wow statement of the pot. And speaking of our pots here, I did pick out a glazed container here, and I've already got my thriller planted in the back side of it. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to plant a filler, which would be my geranium, in there. And I've also added the potting soil already in here, but I didn't fill it quite to the top yet, because you're going to have some soil here that you're going to break up the roots. And you see your geranium here already has the soil on it, so you're going to need to have some room to place it. So I'm going to put my geranium right in there, and I'm not going to put it all the way up, because I'm going to add a little soil to finish off the pot here. Another filler that I have would be the diamond frost. This is like your baby's breath of the pot, and it's going to just kind of fill in the whole top of the pot and just add an airy little flower, kind of like baby's breath is to a floral arrangement. These roots you can just break up a little bit. We're going to stick them right in the center there. Then I'm going to have a sweet potato vine. Now this is going to get pretty large, and it's going to trail out the side of the pot. This is Margarita. It's one of our more popular potato vines. Again, I'm just going to put a little indentation in there, stick it right on the top, and this is going to spill out over the pot. Another one, this is a type of Bacopa, and this one is the blue Snowstorm, and it adds that really pretty pop of bluish lavender color to the pot, and it is also going to spill out. Then what I'm going to do is add a little bit more soil in here just to top it off. And it's easier to add the soil just a little bit. I didn't put the plants all the way down into the pot, but I'm just going to fill in these spaces that we need to. And then we'll add a little bit of slow release fertilizer. That's going to be your fourth step of your containers, is the type of fertilizer you use. We use this Osmocote, which you sprinkle in around the top of the pot. And what that does is these little pellets on here, every time you water, it's going to fertilize those plants. So every time you're going to be watering it, they're going to get a little bit of a nutrient to help them grow and to bloom and to be really healthy for you. You can also use a liquid feed fertilizer. This is the Jack's feed that we use here at the garden center. And this you can just mix with some water, and maybe every 2 weeks water it in, and it also helps to feed your plants to make them healthy and to bloom a lot better. Then you're going to be, once you get this on your patio then, and you have it all summer long, you're going to make sure that it needs regular watering. And sometimes plants and planters sometimes need to be watered even twice a day when it's really, really hot or really windy. So my rule of thumb is I like to go out there in the morning and make sure that all my planters have a nice drink of water, so that'll get them through the day and the hot part of the day. And then when I come home from work, I'll just check them. And if we've had a really hot, windy day, I might give them a little bit more water, but more than likely, they're going to last until the next morning when I have to go out there and water them. We do recommend that you try to water earlier in the day rather than later in the day, but sometimes in the heat of the summer, some pots just need twice a day. But watering is very important. Also, when you water, I always encourage people to make sure that the water drains out the bottom of the pot, that you water enough to saturate that whole soil. And that is going to help the soil to stay wetter longer, so then you maybe would have to do less infrequent watering. And you want that water to drain away. You don't want a saucer underneath there that's going to collect it, so then it's just, what that's going to do is that's going to make the soil never dry out, and then you have things like root rot on there. And then the last thing, we always tell people, don't be afraid to deadhead or trim your plants. Geraniums in particular like to be what they call deadheaded, where you pinch the spent blossoms off of it, and then another blossom will start to shoot up and grow. Things like your bacopa or your sweet potato vine, your trailing petunias, what they like is to be trimmed every once in a while. You just take your scissors out and you just trim around the edge of the plant, because these are going to start spilling over for you, and this will make your plant look a lot more manicured. It's also going to make the plant be a lot healthier in the center of it, and then it'll have fresh blooms coming out of it. But don't be afraid to trim your plant either. If you want to learn more about tricks of the trade of planting a spectacular patio container, we have lots of information, and we're having a HowTo seminar, and it's free of charge on April 6th, Saturday, April 6th at 10 a.m. Come on out. We will help you pick out your plants that you would use on your patio container. You can bring in an empty pot. We'll help you pick everything out. We'll actually plant it here at the garden center for you. It'll look something like this. Then we'll put it in our greenhouse and grow it until you're ready to pick it up. Usually about Mother's Day, the 1st of May to Mother's Day. And when you come out, that container is going to be big and beautiful, and it'll be rooted in, and it'll be instantaneously ready for your patio. And we do this every year, and every year it's a lot of fun, and it's very successful. And that's the main thing that we want you to have here. We want you to be successful with your containers at your house, so then you don't have to do as much work.